Hello, my name is Dejan Bojkov. In this video I am going to present you a way to meet the English opening in case that white plays in a reversed dragon style. The starting moves c4, e5, knight c3, knight f6, g3, d5, c takes d5, knight takes d5, bishop g2, knight b6. This position can be achieved from many move orders. Let me just show you some of them. One is that white starts with the move g3 immediately. We can play e5 here, or first knight f6, bishop g2, knight f6, c4, d5. That's one option for the first player to achieve it. Also after c4, e5, instead of knight c3, white can opt for g3 immediately. Knight f6, bishop g2, d5, c takes d5, knight takes d5. Now they can also play first knight f3 or some other move like d3, which usually will transpose into the lines that we are going to cover just in a minute. What is important for us to know is that after the move knight c3, the fact that we are playing as black pieces is not giving us a chance to play too actively. For example, here bishop e6 is not ideal for us, as our opponent can simply proceed with knight f3, say knight c6, short castling. And the thing is that we are not having sufficient control over the central squares. It is not like in the Sicilian when we play as white and we are controlling the d4 square. Here concretely, if we do not drop back the knight on b6, let's say that we just proceed with the normal development with bishop e7, white can strike immediately with d4, and this definitely gives him an edge. Say knight takes c3, b takes c3, e takes d4, c takes d4, short castling e4, with a very powerful center and very good comfortable game on the semi-open B and C files as well. And in this line on the 7th move, if we go knight b6, then white is going to have an additional option. They can play d4 at once, temporarily sacrificing the pawn, and after e takes d4, knight b5, they are going to take it back. But also sometimes they are just threatening to play bishop f4 and to attack this one on c7. Say bishop e7, bishop f4, rook c8, knight f takes d4, knight takes d4, knight takes d4, and these two bishops, they are exerting very unpleasant pressure against our position. The pawn on b7 is hanging, and also this bishop is hanging on e6, and this is something that we wouldn't like to see in our games. Therefore, at the beginning, after the first moves, once that our knight on d5 is attacked, we should better retreat it on b6 and control the d4 square in the best possible way. After knight f3, we usually develop this knight on c6, then we first develop the king's flank, and only after that we will decide what exactly to do with this bishop on c8. Either to bring it to e6, most probably, or we can choose something else. Just to show you that this is a reverse Sicilian. In the Sicilian we usually have this position with the white pieces. After e4, c5, knight f3, knight c6, d4, c takes d4, knight takes d4, say g6, knight c3, bishop g7. We can play knight b3. This is not the most active option, but we can do it. Knight f6, bishop e2, and then bishop e3. This is precisely the same position, but with reverse colors and one tempo down for us. Still, it is quite a playable line. The thing is that we have seized the center, we have developed comfortably our pieces, and this pawn on e5 is a very good asset that we have. Usually we are trying to play in the center by jumping with a knight with d4, or to make use of the space advantage that we have and to attack on the king's flank. This is our area. And now we are starting with the concrete lines.